This is Dr. Lucien, and this is the video 2 for week 8, which is our first demonstration video. On the screen, this is week 8. You should have already watched the first video, which I went over the assignment and some of the expectations. In this video, we're going to do the descriptive statistics, but I'm going to cover some other stuff too. I'll show you the assignment in a moment, but this week is different. We're not going to do a quiz this week. I want to get everybody, adjusted and started working on the project, give you guys the best opportunity. So we'll do a quiz next week, and the quiz will be focused on work comp, and I'll review some material for that. But this week, you do not have to provide a summary or review of the videos, but rather a full reflective journal or for reflective writing. So here it is. So I just want you guys to reflect. So there are 3 videos. You don't have to summarize them. But the content from the first 7 weeks is the foundation for why we can do this analysis. We are assuming a work system approach in that if conditions are the way they are currently, and there are times in which, certain job types, certain tasks, we have more frequent injuries or more severity in injuries, that will continue unless we functionally change something. And so this analysis is meant to try and prioritize and focus on where that may be. And then at the same time, estimate how much we could lose in the future if we do nothing. And that information is used to educate and persuade management to support the program and invest into it. Okay? And then we can also track it over time to make sure we're doing a good job. So I want you to provide 2 or 3 paragraphs, reviewing kind of the main lessons learned from the first 7 weeks. And that will serve you well for this project, this 6-week project or 7-week project. I think it's a 6-week project. Yeah. So that's what it's all about. We've been building up to this. All right. So we're going to be, using the data set, which is right here. It's under semester project loss run data analysis. It's got its own window. We went over the assignment itself in video 1. Here's what we're going to be using for our entire project. And then at the beginning of each demonstration video, I'm going to use this document here, the reference document, to show you what the plan is. So real quick, let's go back to week 8 and let's look at what is expected for this week. Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. So in Excel, we want to do analyze by descriptive statistics and provide comments. So I will do that in this video. In the next video, we're going to do the distribution figure. Then for this assignment, you're going to copy and paste these tables and figures and make them look really professional and provide your insights, okay? The 4th thing you're going to do is, why are we doing this assignment? So in the first video, I talked about that. So if you have to go back and watch it again. But I want you basically to draft the first paragraph of what would be the technical report, identify the purpose of the data study, the justification, context, and scope. It's all there. You should be able to provide, you could also refer to the descriptive statistics in your comments and the distribution, because that's really laying out the foundation for what the data is. We're not really understanding anything. We have a better picture of what the data set is. I guess that answers the first question of what is the data quality, but that doesn't necessarily have to be part of the study. That's more of a introduction type of thing. Okay? So that's what you do for this. You're going to be turning in a Word document or a PDF. You could use this Word document to fill everything in. That's what I'm going to do. And then you upload it. I'm going to say this again, do not ever upload your Excel document during these weekly updates. You'll only upload your Excel once it's completely done. Okay? If somebody does that, I'm reaching out to you right away. It'll drive me bonkers. So that's this. We're doing this video now. I'll be recording this one in a little bit. So let's bring up the reference document. The reference document is right here. I'd shown you where it was. So this first one, the master, should actually be like the reference page. If you want to copy the whole thing, you click on that button. Then you can copy it by doing Control-C to copy. Go on a new tab and do Control-V to paste it. Control-Y is repeat. Control-Z is back up one move. We'll be using functions such as if, sum if, countif, percentage, average. We'll be doing all this stuff as we go through. And then there's some other tricks I'll be bringing up as we go, and here's the different types of graphs we'll be creating. For this week, we're going to create this table here. And if you look up here, so there's some description here. So each week, before you start doing the work, I would take a quick look at this to see what's expected, and I provide some insights to help you. This may especially help you if you don't take my advice and you still use a Mac to do this assignment. This may help you guide you in finding the way to replicate what I'm doing on the screen under, using Windows. So we'll be creating this table in a new tab, and we'll also do this one, and we may also do type as well. I tried to record this, but I got interrupted by a call, so I'm re-recording this. In the next video, we're going to do this descriptive. So I created a table that will actually do the data collection for you. And then you just have to create this bar chart and then enter in all the information. So that'll be the next video. So I'm going to bring up this. So let's bring up the data set. Oh, it showed up on my other screen. So first rule is do not molest the master. This is the master pristine data set. I don't want you to ever do any manipulation here. I already manipulated it as far as I would need to. So I added the numbers. I took out personal identifiers, things like that. Always try to keep one pristine version in your Excel. So we have to create a new tab, and we need to bring over this data to start manipulating it. So just like I had shown in the last video, go up and click in this corner here. It highlights everything. I think you can right click and do copy. I don't like to do that. I'm going to do Control C to copy. I'm going to left click on this little plus sign at the bottom to create a new tab. And as long as if I'm in A1, I can go Control V and paste. And now I have a perfect copy of what's on this other master data tab. I'll always try to zoom into 150 for you. So the way this is set up, and this is pretty much exactly what you'd get except for the modifications I had made to make it easier for you. Each column, again, this is the vertical. Each column is a variable or piece of information from a claim. Each row is an actual claim. Okay? And what do we have here? So this starts in early September of 2017. It runs until mid-September 2024. There are 302 claims in this data set. And then there's the date in which the loss occurred. That is what we use as a basis. There's the cause and detailed cause. This is more of a parent code, which is, say, sort of like a broader definition, a broader category. Detailed is more specific. We'll look at both. As far as this is when the carrier was noticed, the difference between the loss date on the carrier are the days to report. In the first video, I'd shown you that they graphed that out. I'm not concerned with it. This is the site, so I created this for you to make things easier. I believe it's just Madison Point and Corporate. Claim type. So we'll evaluate this week, but it'll become more important later. Status is whether it's closed, open, or reopened. The birth date of the person, the claimant, their age at the time, their hire date, so we could figure out how long they worked there if we needed to. Their stated occupation or job title, the body part affected in the claim, the policy class code, jurisdiction. I think everything's Wisconsin. I think eliminated the few claims that were out of state. The time in which the loss occurred, don't put too much in. Look at this. It looks like, this is not a valuable thing here. It looks like everything seems to be like 12 a.m. Don't really need that. So I'll just leave it there. And then we got the paid medical and then outstanding. I'm not sure what that is. And then paid indemnity. We're really just interested in the paids, and so we're going to delete the non-paids. Paid and total paid will be our final one. Okay, I'll explain this here. So whenever a claim is filed, they use their database and they put in what they estimate it's going to be to cost to close it out. Total paid is how much has been billed and paid out. Total incurred is the difference between the two. So, okay, I'm sorry. No. Total incurred is the total they think it's going to be. Outstanding is what's left in it. Paid is what's been going out. So paid plus outstanding is incurred. Once it's closed, they're equalized, and outstanding goes to 0. Here's one that's still open. They're estimating it's going to cost 146,000 and change. It's been charged 133. They're leaving it open, and there's about 13,000 left. It's just for general accounting to go from year to year. Is there another one? Oh, here's some more. They're expecting this one to be 196. I don't know about this one. When was this one done? Every once in a while I read stuff. Okay, I do know about this one. Anything else here? That's a high one too. Let's see what this one is. It's only paid out 5,000. I do know that one too. That one still is 36. Yeah. You're going to have more open claims or reopen claims the closer you get to the current time. Because, I mean, if you're a good safety manager, you're working hard to try and get things closed. You want to close things. Loss description, we'll look at these later. We'll kind of read through a few, especially when we get to the outliers. And then the carrier policy effective date is the policy year. Again, that's September 1st through August 30th. All right, so let's do a few things right off the bat, and that is create a couple new columns. And how do I do that? Let me back it up again a second. So I right click on a column and I scroll down here and I go insert. And what it does is it moves over the column I had selected to the right. So it's adding a new one to the left. And I'll do two of them. Okay, I've got two here. I want to bring this effective policy year. So I'm going to left click to highlight, and I can right click and hit cut, or I can do Control X. And so now it's saying, where do you want to cut it to? And so I want to cut it to this column right here. So I'm going to hit paste, which is Control V, or you could right click it and hit paste. There, that's my policy. Now let's do a calendar year. Calendar year. And we're going to do this manually. So first thing is, I'm going to highlight it and center it. So up here, there's things you can do. You can change font size, bold, italics, all that stuff. You can change the alignment of the cells. If you click on a column or row, I'll do it that way. So I clicked on a column, picked center alignment. You can do wrap text. You can, for a cell or for a complete row, you can change it from general to number to percentage to date, anything you need to. Okay. So that's stuff that I will do and we'll be doing as we go through. So calendar year, we're going to enter manually because sometimes you have to do that. So calendar year is just the year of this. And it's different than the policy year because the policy year is, again, September to August. So here the calendar year is 2017. Type that in. Then what I do is I move the cursor over the bottom right-hand corner of the cell, and you see how it changes to that? Then I click left and hold down, and I drag. And it's sort of a copy-paste. And I just go to right here. Why did I go right here? Because it's the end of 2017. Right there. Now I type in 2018. So I'm not destroying any data. All I'm doing is creating a new variable for analysis. 2019. Sorry, I didn't grab it right. I'm just looking at the date over here. See, 2019, 29. Now this is 2020. And this just allows us just to get better insight on certain things. You may not be doing calendar year analysis. I may do it depending on what I'm trying to compare things to. I'm just dragging until I find it, and then I let it up. See, 21 to 21, 22. And drag it down to right there. 2023, same thing. Drag it down to right there. 2024. And that should bring us to the end. There we go. That's it. So we have two new columns. I mean, one was already there. I just moved it closer to the loss date and number. Okay. Now let's go over here, clean some things up. We do not need, and I want to take out some things we don't need. I still have okay, I need to rename this to descriptives. Descriptives. Because I'm doing descriptive analyses. Time. I just feel like as I'm looking at time, I'll leave it there. I'm not going to use it. This is just stupid. So I'm going to highlight these two rows, U and V, right click and hit delete. Because all I need are the paids. Do the same thing here. Delete. Same thing here. Delete. So I've got my 4 columns. And then we've got the outstanding, which we hope is 0, and the incurred. So we're not going to really use that right now. We're just trying to create descriptives out of these. I'm going to widen this a little bit. Or what I could do is hit a space there, and then it comes down like that, and then I can shrink it again. If you want these to be equal, you just highlight all 4, and then adjust it, and then adjust them that way. Okay. Can widen that too. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to highlight row 1 and hit copy. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. And I'm going to leave 1 space open and then hit paste. So now I've got my header row down below because I'm going to be doing all of my analysis down below. Some people like to do it on top. I like to do it below. It's not a big deal. The reason for the space is we're going to be doing some sorting later on. And if you don't have a space, it'll sort everything that touches. That's why we did that. Okay, so we want to create a table which expresses descriptives for these 4 variables. So I'm going to copy that. I'll just give it 2 spaces and hit paste. Now I don't need the coloring, so I'm going to highlight that and go up to here and remove it. I don't need it to be bold. And is it Arial? If it is, that's fine. I like Arial. It's a sans serif. So that's going to be the header row of my new table. And if you want to see what it looks like, again, this is so paid medical, paid indemnity, LE, total paid. And then these are the entries we're going to use to calculate. All right? They're right here, so you can see them. I'm going to copy these. I don't know if this is going to work. This may not work because of how it's built, but let's try it. I kind of did. Widen this to make it a little bit better. It's Arial 10, not bold. I can highlight the rows and extend it a little bit to make it look prettier. I don't like that I use abbreviations and stuff. It should be explained. So this is going to be, variable subtotal. This is, maybe I'll say paid subtotal. Paid subtotal percentage. Average paid average per claim, paid medium, of claims is correct. So this is the number of $0 entries. Paid only average. Paid only average per claim. That's what that is. The paid max. Paid maximum entry. Yep. The percent paid max of total, and the percent $0 entries. Okay. So I had to clarify all that. I did that for you all. And this is what's going to help us define things. So this is our original. So our N, which is the total number of claims, is equal to, do you guys remember? Isn't it 302? Go over there and look. Yeah, 302 claims. And I can center everything by clicking on the cell and then aligning it. So statistics. There we go. Looking pretty good here. Now, I should have saved it already, but I'm going to save it now. So, File, Save As, change the name, you guys. Make sure it's going into the folder you want it to. I'm going to call it Loss Run Data Analysis, Week 1, Descriptive Stats. And then my personal identifier is my initials. There. Make sure you guys are, each week or each step should have its own title and do a save as and not just save, okay? But save your work as you go. All right, so we've got one interesting thing I did here is I made it so that what I'm trying to calculate is right above it, so it's all in the same column. That makes things so much easier. One of the reasons I like Excel is it allows me to do simple things like this. All right, so paid medical. We're going to be adding up everything up here. And so if we go back and look at the other thing, this is equal sum range. So let's try that, shall we? So in this cell, I'm going to click on it and go equal sum, parentheses, I think it's called, and then the numbers. And I'm going to type in T2 to T303. And you see this highlighted. So it's rows. That's the range. It's rows. And it's T because that's the column. So T2 is up here. T2. Because I knew there was a header row. And so it starts on row 2. So I typed in T2 colon T303. See, it's row 303. And it highlighted everything. So it's going to add up everything that I've just highlighted. Hit return. As you can see, it's not wide enough, but it's because it has decimal points. So I can either widen it or I can go up into here and remove the decimal points. You see? And I can do that and that. Okay. So that's the total amount of medical payments and all the claims. Here's the beautiful thing about Excel. If I click on this cell and then do that click and drag, you know, the bottom right, click it and bring it over, what Excel does is it brings it over. So now it's U2 to U303, V2 to V303, and W2 to W2. So it, by clicking it over, what it did is it shifted what it adds up. So here it's just saying add up everything up here. If you click and drag it over, what it does is it adds up everything up here. And I think that's awesome. I don't like that justified to the right, so I'm going to center justify it. I think that looks better. Yeah. So these are the subtotals. Okay. This is the total of these three combined, essentially. That's what it is. All right. What's the percent? I'm going to go equal, and I'm going to click on this amount, and then I'm going to use the little slash divide by, and it's basically this amount right here. I can, this is always where do I put in the total or do I just click on this? I'm going to type it in. 2,157,693. That's the number here. 2,557,693. Hit return. It's in a what do you call that? A decimal. I'm going to center it first, and then I'm going to get rid of some. Well, actually, you know what I want to do is I want to turn it into a percentage. There we go. Click and drag it over. That is going to be 100% because that's the same number. And I think 2 decimal points are fine. You know, it is. What did we learn? In 302 claims, 2/3 of it are medical paid. 28% is indemnity, and just a small percentage is the paid legal expense. Okay, that's what we learned. Paid average. Type in equal average. It says give us the range. Again, T2 to T303. Hit return. I'm going to center it like that. I'm going to get rid of the decimal points, and I got that amount. Click and drag it over. So the average claim the average amount paid per claim. Actually, should I say average paid per claim? Average paid per claim. Yeah, that's a better. Yeah. And this should be median of claims. Yeah. Median payment. Yeah, that's about right. For this one, equal median T2, to T303, hit return. I'm going to center it, get rid of the decimal points, drag it over. So the median is 0 for indemnity and expense. It's 1,000, a little over 1,000 for medical, and the median. So look at the difference here. Why is that different? It's because we either have some really expensive claims and or we have a bunch of $0 claims, which we may. And we'll count those in a second. Number of $0 entries. So this is equal count if. You have to give a range and a criteria. Our range is T2 to T303. Our criteria is 0. So count it if there's a 0 there. So it counted 43. I'm going to center it. Click and drag it over. There we go. So we've got 27 claims with 0. The other thing is, what are the max claims? We're going to figure that out in a little bit. Again, if he's like, oh, he's going really fast, you can go back here and I've got the subtotal divided by total paid, which we did as a percentage, the equal average range, the equal median range, the equal count if, range, comma, 0. The next one is equal subtotal, so I'll click on that cell, divided by parentheses, I'll type in 303 minus, then I'll click on the number of $0, and that'll give me a paid only average. And that's so it's just basically what is the average if we removed the $0 claims. Okay? Because if there's $0 there, what's that doing? It's driving it down. This should make it a little bit higher, right? So we go equal subtotal divided by parentheses, the number is 302 minus $0 claims. And this should make it larger. Yep, so it went from 4,000 to 5,000. Now that's just a number, so we need to turn this into a currency and then get rid of the decimal points and center it. And now we can just click this and drag it over. There we go. So it's just a little bit higher there, quite a bit there, quite a bit there, quite a bit there. The maximum entry is equal to max T2 to T303. Hit return. I'm going to center it, get rid of the pennies, click and drag it over. So the most expensive claim is $133,000, which is a lot higher than this, which is why it's dragging it up. When we do the distribution, you'll see how significant that is. I like to see how much this amount affects the total. I like it to be like lower than 2% to be comfortable. So percent total, we click equal, click on the max amount, and then divide it by the subtotal. This has to be turned into a percentage. And center it. And the only one I'm really concerned about is that. So this most expensive claim is over like 6.2% of it. Now, when you use the risk priority number, when you multiply percentages, that's going to affect it. So that's why we remove outliers. So when we get to the outliers, I'll revisit this, but realize we want to get this down to 2 or less if we can. The percent zero claims is just equal to this divided by the total, which is 302. So 14%. Turn that into a percentage after I center it. I know I'm kind of going quick, but this is the result. This is the table we had to create for the descriptives. It shows a big discrepancy between average and median. We have a very expensive claim, which is 6.2% of it, of the total amount paid. Just under 9% of all of our claims are $0. That's also affecting these differences. That's our total amount. Yeah. So we have a few more things to do, and that is to look at the open close and the claim status. So we'll do two things here. We'll do count and we'll do percent. And then over here, I will put medical. Oh, incident is the lowest level. Incident, medical, indemnity. I think that's everything. Kind of making this one up on the fly. All right. So we'll do that one, and then, I guess right below it, we will do the open, reopen. Is it reopened? Where is it? Should be reopened. Okay. Got to make sure everything is exact, and then closed. Is it closed or close? Closed. All right. All right. Highlight all these, center them all, get them surrounded. All right. So one thing you'll see is that this is a lot bigger, and it doesn't need to be. So what I'm going to do is cut and paste it right there, because that's bigger because of that. So now everything is a little bit better. So we're going to be going off of column J and column K. Incidents here, this is column J. So count equal count if J2 to J303 is, and what I'm going to do is I want to click on this cell if it lets me. I don't know if it's going to, though. The cell is I310. Okay, it let me. And it counted 32. Now, if I was to click and drag this down, just like what we did before when we did it like horizontally, if you do it vertically, it'll change things. So if I was to do that, it would go from 2 to 303, 3 to 304, 4 to whatever. So click on here, see it goes 4 to 305. So I could go in and manually change it, or in the original box, what I can do is put a $sign in front of the numbers, and that freezes it. So now if I click and drag it down, the numbers are the same, but it stayed at 2 and 303. The percent is simply that number divided by the total, which is 302. We want it to be a percentage. Drag that down. Now, do we have 303? I can test it by going equal sum 302. Oh, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be 302. Is that what I put in there? Yeah. So just testing. So everything is there. So that's our breakdown. 62% of all the claims are medical only. And that's what that means, medical only. Now, as far as the status here, this is now column K. So count is equal. Count if K2 to K303, comma, and then click on this cell here. Now I'm going to go up and put $sign in front of the 2 and in front of the 303. Click on it, drag it down. I'm going to add it up. It should equal 302. It does. I don't need it then. And the percent is equal to this number divided by the total, which I'll type in as 302. I need to turn this into a percentage. I click and drag it down. So that's our descriptives. That's what we wanted to do. I'm going to save my work. Saved it. Now for the assignment, I want to bring this stuff over. The first thing I want to bring over is the main table. I'm going to go copy, highlights it. I'm going to open my update and hit paste. So I don't want you to paste this. Oh, percent. I spelt it wrong. And maybe I can widen that to make it all fit. So here's what I want you guys to do. Highlight it and then go up to table design. And here now we have options. We can add color to it. We can make it look all kinds of different ways. I think what I want to try and do, I'll do a purple. See what happens. There. Now, I don't like the justification, so I'm going to highlight it. And, oh, where's my center justify? That's not it. Table design. Let's see here. Borders. Direction. Here we go. I can click on that. There we go. There, and there's my table. See, doesn't that look better? And then I need to give it a, I'm going to call it table 1, descriptive, statistics, n equals 302, claims September 2017 to September 2024. I'm going to make that bold and then make it small like that. Some people center it, some people leave it left justified. I'll keep it left justified. There's my table. Now, if I don't like how it's being open, I can highlight it, and I think I can go in here and put in a surrounding border. Do you guys like that better? I like to put my table number and title below, you know, and here we can still do some manipulation if we want to, you know, shrink that a little bit. Those all look equal, but that looks more professional to me. Okay. We do have some additional tables, which I'm going to call table 1A and table 1B. Let's go back. Table 1A. I'm going to go ahead and this is claim status. This is claim type. Okay? So claim status, copy, go back to our page, hit paste, highlight it, pick a design. In this design, I'm going to go something simpler. What's simple? It's not too bad. I am going to elongate that a little bit. And then I'm going to highlight it and layout, center everything. That looks nice. I like that. Let's do the next one. And claim type. Copy. Paste. Highlight. Come on. Highlight. I think I can move these around too. I'm going to make that one blue. I'm going to go to layout and center it. Like that. Can I? Very cool. It's not that easy to work with, but there we go. And then this is table 1A, claim status, n equals 302. Table 1B, claim type, n equals 302. I'm going to make those smaller, but make them bold. And then I gotta do another tab. I can move this over so it looks a little bit better. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that's a little better. So there we go. Now, comments. So here is where, you know, what did I learn? Comments. This is where you'd want to comment on, you know, for the entire data loss run data set for 302 total claims. There was, you can use different language. You don't have to type what I'm typing. I'm just trying to help you guys out. I don't want you to type what I'm typing. I mean, as far as the language, the numbers are correct though. total payments of which, that's so stupid. Breakdown, comp claim, payment breakdown is 67.7% went toward medical reimbursement, and 28.2% for indemnity payments. Currently 31 claims remain open, and 5 are classified as reopened. Additionally, I'm going to say under 62% are medical claims included a medical payment, and 27.5% included an indemnity payment. The maximum claim amount is, where is it? 133.36, which is 6.2% of the total amount paid in work comp. And the average work comp claim is 7,145, and the median amount is 123. Or we say 1,324. This difference needs to be analyzed in future steps. Because it is possible that expensive claims are causing bias or skewing the descriptive average paid. Something like that. Okay? So it's just basically describing what we learned here. You could say 27 or 9% or $0, that if these $0 are removed, it increases the average, by that amount. Yeah. Just some basic observations. Okay? So that is, make sure you're saving your work. Make sure you're labeling it different. I'm going to save my work again. And in the next video, we'll get into the next step, which is the distribution.